Hello and welcome. This is Chrisanne and I'm coming at you from Elemental Energies with Chrisanne. And today you may have seen these before, but I've got a little fun addition to it. So I'm calling this hidden journaling inside of hidden journaling. So when we make journals, it's fun to put like little notebooks and little tiny mini journals and different things into tuck spots and little corner pouches and have these within the journal, so it's another additional place to journal on for those that don't do journaling. So I made this in the shape of a tag. I like tag shapes, so I decorated the front using my goodies that I have. You open it up and I got glue. But this is a notebook right here. But this, inside this little pocket, this is another spot for hidden journaling. So it's multiple spots to do your journal within this pocket. So let's get started making these. I used a 6x6 piece of paper. So either you have these 6x6 notebooks, or these 6x6 paper pads, or you take a 12x12 sheet of paper and cut it into fours. So you can get 4 of these little books out of that. But in this case, I'm just going to use these. So, you know, that's a really good way to use up these 6x6 pads. If you're like me, you buy them when they're on sale. Let's use them. I've used quite a bit of these and I carry those around in my bag. I'm going to do a video on what's in my bag because I have a very interesting travel art system as well. But for right now, let's get started with this. Let me see if this light will turn on here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's give us a little bit better light. Sorry for my hand. So within this is a Hobby Lobby 6x6 paper pad by Paper Studios. This is Floral Collage. That's where this one was from. So you go through, just pick what you want. I'm going to do this exact one again, just for conversation's sake. And you can see if I have any left. I may not even have any left. Is that it? That might have been it. You know what? Let's use this one. I like this one. So we're going to use this one. This paper is really nice weight. It's got a good weight to it. It's not really thin paper. So what you're going to need is a 6x6 piece of paper. You're going to need another scrap. So I had a scrap left over from a project that I was making, and I keep my scraps within these little paper pads so I know it's there. So I have a scrap. We're going to use this. What you need to do in order to get this to be a notebook is you have to simply fold it in half. You don't have to have a bone folder to crease it. It gives it a nicer crease. Then what I did was I attached this inside little pouch. And in this case, I have this leftover piece from in here. I didn't really measure it yet, so let's see. It's going to hang off just a smidge, so you know what? I want to cut and trim just a hair off of that. And the best way to measure it is by closing it and seeing if it fits in. It fits in when it's closed. Perfect. So I like to have my things look a little on the sort of distress side. So I am taking walnut stain distress oxide. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to do everything. I'm outside, so everything's blowing around on me. I am going to do front and back. Now, because this is not double-sided paper, the inside is going to be white unless we decorate it. So we are going to decorate that. I have a whole collection of stencils here. Whenever I have something that I don't want that crisp white to show, I stencil it. So I have this measured. I'm not going to glue it in yet. I know this amount is going to be remaining. Let's take a stencil. I don't need to stencil down here because the pocket's going to be there. I don't want to stencil over here. So if you need to mask that off, you do what works best for you. My brushes always have lots of ink in them. These are makeup brushes that I got at Dollar Tree. You know, I invest so much money in good quality art supplies that it's okay every once in a while for me to get some reasonably priced tools other places. Now this side of my little notebook, I want to do the entire thing there. So that's what I have there. I want this to have a little bit of distress to it as well. So let's come in and do that. You can put a notch in that if you want. Whoops, I'm not going to. I am using art glitter glue. I do not recommend glue stick for this project because you want a really fine line of glue here. And I'm coming right down to the corner, to the base here. Sorry, my hand was in the way. And I can pick it up and I can bend it. Yep, that works. Now I can let that dry. Now, how do we get these pages here? What I did is I went and I got one of these pads of paper from the Dollar Tree. There's 75 sheets. You pick whatever colors you want out of these. When I tear them, they don't always tear right at the top. I don't care. I'm going to be trimming that off. See, that's what I mean. Pick whatever colors you want. I have pre-measured this. So I know that all I need to do is cut these directly in half. These are 4 by 6. This was 6 by 6. So what I do is, first of all, I'm going to cut them in half. So we said 4 by 6. So I'm going to cut them. Oh, you know what? Let me cut this way first so it's less cutting. Let's do 5.5. And then let's do our 2-inch. So 5.5 by 2 gives me 2 stacks. I can either make 2 notebooks with these or I can put them together. In this case, I am going to stack them up and put them together. But before I do that, I have these notches in mind. Now that I have this glued, let's come in and let's take our punches. So this is the tag punch that I like at the top. I do them upside down so I can make sure, oops, that I'm getting them in the right area. And then down here, I like to round it. Now keep in mind, this is thick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this single, that single. This I have no choice. There. And that one's tricky because it's so thickly layered. So now I have that all done. I can take my stapler. I have my stapler with my copper staples in it. Get these lined up. I want these here. All I'm doing is stapling it in. That's it. Simple. I also want a little piece up here to make it look like it's a tag, like that. So let's grab my scissors. I don't need very much. That's probably a good amount right there. And let me measure that just so you know. It's about 3 inches actually. So let's fold that in half. Put that here. Come back in once again with my stapler. You can use your tiny attacher. You can use whatever works for you. I like my copper staples. So we have that there. So we have the inside basically done. I want to do a little of decoration on the front. I'm big with using book page. I don't need all of this. Keep in mind, I'm going to be decorating that inside hidden tag. So let's also make one for that. Where's my, oh, here's my ink. I'm going to give this a little edge of ink. I like my ink to be seen. I'm not dainty and demure with my ink. You know, you know. So let's add that there. So I'm just pulling out all my fun goodies to work with. I have a collection here of some stickers, some flowers, a whole bunch of types of stickers. I don't know, I have a whole collection here. But I think I'm going to stick with these guys because that's what I sort of started with. I think we're going to go right with that one right there. And I want this to have, take down some of that white, have more of that vintage feel. Because I'm working on a glass mat, it's easy for me to just wipe it up. I'm not worried about it. I can take a wet cloth, clean it up. I'm outside. My glass mat stays outside all the time. It gets clean in the rain. It's easier for me. These little flowers, I got these at Hobby Lobby. I've seen a version at the dollar store though. So let's glue these down. Is this necessary? No. Do I have them in my stash and I just want to use them because I have them? Yes. You decorate this however it speaks to you. It's okay. This is bulky. It's on the outside. Let's add some stickers. I have this sticker pad here that I got at Temu, and I've definitely gotten my money's worth. I have used these on so many projects. These sticker books have been a really good investment. On my other one, I put a little bit of this trim. Now the trim was a little bit wonky at that end, so it gave me a little bit of trouble. So I am gonna take the trim from this end. You know what? Where did I put my scissors? Right there. I'm just gonna use that little piece right there. This trim I got at Hobby Lobby. It just, I don't know, it adds a little bit of bling. I know, some people put the glue on their bling. I'm putting the glue to the paper. Let's add another sticker here. Sometimes I don't always get these straight. It's not straight, but that's okay. Okay, I'm happy with that. Next thing I want to do is that inner little spot where I'm creating this. This is an index card. That's all that is. Let's move these to the side. I did have to trim this down. You trim it down based on the size of the pocket that you're putting in. So I can't exactly give you dimensions because it depends on the size pocket that you have created. But once I get mine created, I will tell you the size that I ended up using. So approximately this pocket is approximately 2.5, but I think I'm going to end up cutting it a little bit smaller. Well, let's do the 2.5 first, and then let's test it and see if it fits. No, it's too tight for me. I don't want it that difficult. I want it easy for somebody to be able to manipulate this. There you go. I'm happy. So I did that 2 inches. So I folded it in half, then cut off to the 2-inch mark. Okay, now I want to round these corners just like I did for the other one. So let's, do this tag thing at the top here, and we'll do this rounded thing at the bottom here. You can get these punches, Amazon, Temu, Hobby Lobby. I think I've seen some at Joann's. That didn't quite cut right. Let me give that a little trim. Still not cutting right. There we go. Okay, I would like to give this a little bit of ink all along the edge. I'm going to do this inside and outside because this is a lot of white space that I want to take back. I am going to stencil the outside of this as well. And I'm going to do it in a coordinating stencil that I did the inside of my book in. So the whole thing is coordinated. And then I like a little bit of ink going right down the middle of both sides. So let's get our stencil back again. And if I wanted to, I could just go like that. You know, I have all these fancy tools to hold my stencils down. And my favorite tool that I use all the time is my hands. I'm used to it. I'm able to kind of hold it. But if you have dexterity issues, there's a lot of tools on the market that are sticky or magnetic, all that different stuff to be able to hold stencils down for you. Now, remember I said I had that little piece I can add here. So let's go ahead and give that a little bit of an edge. We're going to glue this down, and then I'm going to come back in with those same little people stickers. Now I could put ribbon here, but you know what? I wanted to cut down on the bulk, so that's why I didn't. And I'm not adding these either because of the bulk. These are thin enough. What's this one? That's kind of cute. All right, we're going to use that one. Oh, you know what? I want to take down that white edge. I think I got these stickers a long time ago on Wish. But I have seen them on Temu as well. So there's that. Let's just add a couple of my little washi labels. That's kind of cute. It's a little big. Nah, that's too big. It's cute though. I like this one going sideways. You know, we invest in our stickers, in our stencils, in our inks, in all of that. Let's use them. It's nice to hold on to certain things for certain projects. I fully get that. I do that. I get that. But let's start using them. You know, doing this YouTube videos and channel has been a really good excuse, not that I need an excuse, to use all the stuff I've invested in. Did I want something else? I don't know. I put this on the other one. Kind of liked it. There we go. We'll do that. Okay. So this is the one we are working on now. This is our hidden journaling. We can even do hidden journaling there if we wanted. And let's tuck that in. So see, we have the stencil, all of the stencil. We have all of this paper here. I mean, this in itself makes a really cute little gift. But when I'm putting this in a journal, I am either putting it behind a belly band, I'm putting it in a library pocket, I'm putting it in a corner tuck, or you can glue this directly into your journal. You can glue it into your journal, gluing it here and having a side tuck, gluing it here and having a side tuck this way, depending on how my book opens. If my book opens this way and I'm putting it on this side, this becomes where I have my side tuck. You can have a tuck here, all different things that you can do with these. So I hope this has re-inspired you to do some more of these fun little tchotchkes that I like to call them. Thanks for tuning in. As always, check out my website. I always link it to the description. You can find pictures of some of the things that I'm doing here on my Instagram page, KrisAnne1234, and check out my Facebook business page, Elemental Energies with KrisAnne. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care and be free.